Okay, we're starting off Unit 8, and we are talking about some complex word problems. Because we all love word problems, so why not make them harder? Okay, so we're going to start off, the very first part is, they're called rate of work problems. And basically it's kind of like, how long will it take somebody to get some work done, basically, okay? So let's look at page 1 of your notes. It talks about, it says Company A can install new carpeting in a house in 10 hours. And so you see I have here, I said A equals 10 hours, right? Okay, and then Company B can install the carpeting in 15 hours. So we have B equals 15 hours, okay? Now, the owner of the house, he wants the carpet installed in less than 8 hours. So what they want to know is if both the companies work together, can they put in all the carpeting in less than 8 hours? Okay. Now, when you talk about rate of work, okay, it makes it kind of difficult if you don't have something where you kind of focuses you in a little bit. Okay, and in this case, what you want to do is instead of looking at this as hours, like how many hours is this going to happen, what you want to do is you want to kind of look at it as, well, what can they get done in 1 hour? Okay, so each of these companies, how much can they get done in 1 hour's time? Okay, and so if you look at Company A, if it takes them 10 hours to get their work done, well, in 1 hour, can't they do 1/10 of the work? Okay, so that's what you're doing. You take 10, if it takes 10 hours to do all of it, well then in 1 hour it takes they'll get 1/10 of it done. And then Company B, if they take 15 hours, well in 1 hour they'll do 1/15 of the work. Okay, so that's the bottom line here. You're just trying to figure out what they do in 1 hour. Alright, so we now have the rates at which they can get work done per hour. Okay, and so now here's what happens though. Okay, we want them to work together. So if we're going to put something together, that typically means we're going to add, right? So we're going to do 1/10 plus 1/15. Okay, and so, but here's what's going to happen. If we put those together, what we need to know is how much of the job will they get done in that amount of time. Okay, and so we don't know, and so together they would put it would take them, it would do the whole amount of work, but instead in 1 hour they're going to do 1, and we're going to call it T for time. Okay, so 1 over T of the work. So how much of the work are they going to get done? They're going to get 1 hour's worth of the work done, or part of the work. Okay, so 1/10 of Company A plus 1/15 of Company B is going to be 1 of T of their work done. Okay, and so now you just got to solve the problem. And so this is kind of going back to Unit 7 when we figured out how to solve these problems, right? So what's the first thing you could do? Well, you could find a common denominator, right? Okay, or we could find the least common denominator and multiply the whole thing by it. Okay, so let's multiply this all by what? What's the least common multiple here? Okay, 10, 15, and T, they all can go into 30 and T, right? So if we multiply everything here by 30T, so we have 30T over 10 plus 30T over 15 equals 30T over T. Okay, and if we do some canceling, let me shrink this up just a little bit. If we do some canceling, the 30 and the 10 here, those cancel. This becomes 3 over 1, or just 3. So we get 3T in the first spot. The 30 and the 15 cancel, and this becomes 2. So 3T plus 2T equals, and then the 2 T's cancel, and we get 30 here on the end, right? So now we put them together. 3T plus 2T is 5T equals 30. Divide everything by 5, and you end up with, let me get a little more room. Okay, you end up with T equals 6. So if the two companies work together, they'll be done in 6 hours. So the answer is yes. Okay, together it'll be less than 8 hours. All right, so that's the basics to it. Find out how much work they can do in 1 hour, and basically that's just changing it into a fraction, 1 over whatever they're doing it in. Okay, or and then add them together and put it as a total time. There's a couple, try these. If you understand exactly what to do right now, give them a shot. If not, we'll kind of keep going here. You can do the first one together. Okay, the first, try this. It says one faucet can fill a tub in 20 minutes, while another takes 80 minutes to fill the same tub. How long would it take the two faucets together to fill the tub? Okay, so we have 20 minutes and we have 80 minutes. Now, so if we're talking about minutes here, why don't we talk about just what will happen if it happens in 1 minute? So how much of the job will they get done in 1 minute? Well, this guy will get 1/20th of it done, and this one will get 1/80th of it done in 1 minute, right? Okay, so now if they work together, okay, working together means that we add, right? Putting things together. So 120 plus 1 over 80. Okay, and we want to know out of the whole job how much will be done in 1 minute. Okay, so in 1 minute, how much of the job will be done? So now we solve our problem. So let's get rid of all of our fractions by multiplying by 80t, because that's common, right? So 80t over 20 plus 80t over 80 equals 80t over t. Hopefully you see we're just distributing here, right? It goes to everything in there. All right, now we cancel. 80 and 20, that cancels into 4. 80 and 80 cancels to 1. And t and t goes away. So we have 4t plus t equals 80. So 4t and t is 5t equals 80. Let me shrink it up a little bit. Divide by 5. And t equals, what does that equal? Equals 16 minutes. So if they work together, it would be 16 minutes. Okay, now it makes sense that it's 16 minutes because if you look at the original problem, right? Oh, that turned out a little weird. If you look at the original one, okay, if the first faucet can do it in 20 minutes, it won't be more than 20 minutes because the first faucet does it in 20 minutes by itself. So having the second faucet should make it faster than that 20 minutes, right? So you should know just by kind of looking at it, it's going to be less than the fastest one because the fastest one can do it that much by itself, right? All right, so let's take a look at try this B. Okay, and for try this B, it's basically the same idea. That's one pipe can fill a tank in 20 minutes. So we'll put this on a pen. Pipe 1 is 20 minutes. Okay, and then another pipe, so pipe 2 takes 30 minutes. And they want to know how fast will they get it done working together. Okay, so you got to know it's going to be less than 20 minutes, right? Because pipe 1 all by itself can do it in 20. So it's got to be less than 20 minutes working together, right? So pipe 1, if we talked about just 1 minute worth of time, it would do 1/20th of the job. And pipe 2 would do 1/30th of the job in 1 minute, right? So let's do 1/20th plus 1/30th is equal to the one part of the job that'll be done in 1 minute. Okay, so now get rid of our fractions, multiply everything, 20 and 30, that's going to be 60, and then t, right? So multiply it all out, and we're going to distribute this guy to everything. So we get 60t over 20 plus 60t over 30 equals 60t over t. Okay, and we got some canceling. The t's cancel. 60 and 20, that's 1 and 3. 60 and 30, That's 2 and 1, so we have 3t plus 2t equals 60. Add those together, you get 5t equals 60. Divide by 5, and t equals 12 minutes. So it'll take 12 minutes if the two pipes work together to get the work done. All right, that's all there is for that one. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Feel free to ask questions if you need.